Hello there, my name is Christian Rivera, aka C Note, and if this is your first time at the website or first time seeing me, hello and welcome. This is DOPEamine. This is a platform dedicated to personal acceptance and empowerment. Now, I tend to focus on INTPs in the Myers-Briggs system, but it's not going to be completely exclusive to that. You're going to see there are programs below here on the website that many are dedicated to INTPs, some are dedicated to creative growth, and there's going to be a continuing expanding catalog of material. So things that I cover on the podcast, which you can also listen to below, are typically related to some personality stuff, some mental health concepts, and some creativity concepts. Because these are things that I've learned in my life and things that I want to share with you as a fellow INTP or a fellow creative person and someone who has been wrestling with and trying to grow within my own mental health and mental, physical, and spiritual health in a sense. So the reason that I started DOPEamine is because a few years ago I had been going through a series of repeated personal failures, and I was starting to think, like, why am I experiencing this? What keeps happening? Why do I keep experiencing all sorts of different challenges in my life regarding what felt like something I couldn't control? Like, I just kept feeling like I was the problem. And so I was trying to discern my mental health and basically distinguish my mental health from my personality. That led me to Personality Hacker, which I've since become great friends with. They're actually one of my clients in terms of my design work. And then led me to starting this YouTube channel and podcast and website dedicated to personal acceptance. Because as I've been learning, I've been sharing some of these concepts with others as I've been going along. So as I've been learning and distinguishing and figuring out how to use personality for growth as a tool in various contexts, not just Myers-Briggs, but the Enneagram, spiral dynamics, human design, a couple of other different maps and models, how can I start to kind of define these little attributes and how do they tie together to be me? And then what about that is not actually me? Because sometimes our personality is a persona. It's what we bring to the table, right? I've been accused on YouTube many times of not being an INTP because I can talk, I can speak, I'm very comfortable in front of the camera. But most of the time afterwards, I'm pretty beat up. So they don't see me outside of the camera. You don't see me outside of the camera. And so I'm bringing a different persona to this experience versus other experiences. Doesn't mean I'm inauthentic. Actually, I pride myself on being authentic and bringing myself to this experience. And really, that's what you're going to get when you're either listening to the podcast or the YouTube channel or picking up one of the courses below, is you're going to get my authentic experience, things that I've learned, the ways that I've processed them for myself, and how I can help you process them for yourself in your situation, right? So whether that's mental health related or creativity related, or just trying to understand your personality informationally, and then how to connect with relationships and partners and how to build your creative career or just improve your general productivity, those are all things that I cover. Now, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not any kind of clinical anything. I'm just a person that has been learning and sharing throughout my own personal experience. So I have had personal experiences with many INTPs, with many people of various personality types. I've been to events. I've gone through Personality Hackers Profiler training, and I'm very seasoned in the ways of Myers-Briggs and personality systems and in self-discovery, right? So there is actually a challenge that many of us have in not really knowing how to self-evaluate in terms of understanding our tendencies, understanding blind spots that we have, and sometimes assuming that we can know everything that there is to know about ourselves when there are things that we are unconsciously doing all of the time based on the accumulation of our life's experience. And so even like the way that you stand, the way that you move, the way that you speak, the way that you communicate, what you communicate, why you communicate it, is all a varying myriad of factors that are not always easy to become consciously aware of. And so the idea of this is to support you in your creative growth, in your personality growth, and your acceptance growth. So acceptance is not just learning your tendencies and blind spots and then saying, not trying to overcome them or kill the ego or any of those kind of nonsense terms. But really what you're trying to do is just accept who you are. And that doesn't mean enable yourself. It means you're still going to be able to grow. But what I'm saying is that acceptance really means understanding that you have tendencies and that you're becoming aware of them. So it's like conscious awareness. And by being consciously aware, then maybe you can laugh at your own tendencies. You can laugh at yourself more, or you can let go of some insecurities. Perhaps you can start to ease up on your expectations of yourself or expectations of others. For me, I learned that I'm an Enneagram 1 in the last year. That has really helped me on top of my Myers-Briggs understanding, and then learning about all of the Enneagram types through a big project that I worked on with Personality Hacker called the Enneagram Starter Kits, that each personality type is kind of doing its thing. Each human is doing their thing based on what they know and what they've experienced. So when they're doing something that might be considered bad for the world, or that's something that I personally can criticize as a 1, that I can actually ease off the pedal of criticism of other people and therefore the criticism of myself by just accepting that these are the ways that people are trying to get their needs met, right? Like we are animals. We are human animals. we have needs. We have impulses. We have desires. We have, stress. We have panic. We have tendencies, both good and bad, and even the concepts of good and bad are something that we can wrestle with throughout our lives. And so, what I find challenging about personal acceptance is that depending on your personality or depending on how you're learning about yourself, it can be very easy to start to criticize yourself, or to feel bad, or to feel like you're awful, or feel like you're not doing the right thing, or feeling like everyone's out to get you, or feeling like you bring nothing to the world or anything like that. And regardless of what direction you're coming from when it comes to this, even if you're an INTP, there's still going to be varying Enneagram entrance points they're going to be coming from. So that's going to be a diverse experience. Every single human being has their own strengths and weaknesses, and it's really about learning what your strengths are, to lean into them, to improve your weaknesses, to be aware of your tendencies, to be aware of your blind spots, and to be aware of where you put your attention. Because typically where you put your attention means that you're missing out on other things. Even on a Myers-Briggs level of like an INTP, if you're focused on just your introverted thinking process and you're not taking in some emotional data, you're inherently missing some information. And that's just the way the way things go. So I hope that you have gotten a sense of what this is as DOPEamine, why I started this, why I'm here. I am the instructor for all of the courses below. I create all the podcasts, I create all the YouTube videos. It's just me. I do pay some virtual assistants to help me with a couple little things, but it's mostly me. So when I'm commenting, it is me. You can ask me questions directly. I will give you support throughout the courses. And, see the courses below for any kind of bonuses and things that come with those. If you're an INTP and you're not sure if you're an INTP, we have a free course here on the website below or above. I don't know where I'm putting this video called Are You Really an INTP, which goes through all of the cognitive functions, compares those to other personality types, and really helps you dial it in so that you can maybe let go of that question and start to focus forward on how to start to develop and grow as a person. So the transformation there is that you go from confused to some sense of certainty, even if you're never 100%. We always ask questions. As an INTP, it's healthy to keep asking questions. That's totally fine. But this is getting you one step closer to not being distracted by that question in particular and allowing yourself to start going forward. So if you follow that track, take the free course, then I'll guide you through what are the next steps, what are the next things that you can take, what's the next course that you can take to start to grow depending on what it is that you need. So also check out other courses. We also have a monthly membership about that I talk about more in-depth concepts when it comes to maps and models, and I usually use some of my design skills to support my teaching of that. So you can check that out below as well. And if you're not sure of anything, there's probably an email pop-up that you've seen by now. You can sign up for our email list, and you'll get some free stuff in your inbox, some articles, email sequences. There's a free book for INTPs if you want to go sign up and pick that up for yourself. And again, I understand that you need time to get to know me, to get to know my voice, to get to know my teaching style. So in the menu, there is the link to the podcast. There's a link to the YouTube channel. Feel free to browse through. There's all sorts of amazing content that you can check out to see where you are. And feel free to leave comments, connect with me. On the podcast, you can even send me a voice message and we can connect on that. And, and then hopefully I'll be able to see you as a student and I can help you in a deeper, more robust way. Things are always changing and evolving here. So again, I encourage you to sign up for the email list. I send out emails when there are new courses, new podcasts, new YouTube channels, new articles, and then all sorts of other goodies as we go along. So thank you for listening to my long ramble. I appreciate you. And I hope this has been helpful to give you some motivation to take one of these courses below or to listen to some of the podcast episodes and, see where you land, see how it feels. So I appreciate you. I have been Christian Rivera, aka C Note, and this is DOPEamine. So welcome, and I'll see you inside. See ya.